Don't forget to subscribe for more. These 12 contestants are all aiming to win the prize of their own restaurant. Currently, they are drinking champagne while getting to know each other. While they all come from different parts of America and are at different skill levels, they all share a passion for the culinary arts and a desire to win the competition. Jessica Cabo reveals that she views Hell's Kitchen as an amazing opportunity to make her dream of owning her own restaurant a reality. DeBerry reveals that he is a baker and that Southern cooking is his specialty. Andrew, a 24-year-old with 10 years of experience, reveals his two dreams to choose from. One ending up as a state senator and the other owning his own restaurant. Shortly after getting acquainted with each other, one of Ramsay's trusted maitre d's, Jean-Philippe, and two of his trusted sous chefs, Scott and Marianne, greet them. They reveal that the contestants will be tested on everything it takes to run a successful restaurant. In the first test, the 12 contestants are given 45 minutes to prepare dishes that showcase their culinary identity. As the challenge kicks off, DeBerry admits he's intimidated by the task and observes that many others seem equally overwhelmed. Wendy reveals that she is confident that Ramsay will appreciate the detail-oriented approach she brings to cooking. Elise, feeling both thrilled and out of place, questions her decision to join as she lacks experience working with professional chefs. Mary Ellen opts for an endive salad with toasted almonds, highlighting her appreciation for the texture and flavor of the ingredients. Michael expresses his passion for cooking and describes working with Ramsay as a dream come true. Despite the pressure, all contestants manage to complete their plates on time, and the dishes are placed under silver covers, ready to be judged. Ramsay introduces himself and begins by randomly picking dishes to judge. He starts by selecting Andrew's Absolute Penne, a pasta dish with peppers, Parmesan, and basil. After tasting it, he spits it out, and after criticizing the dish, he claims that Andrew's 10 years of kitchen experience were wasted. Andrew, in response, claims that his dish only lacked salt. Ramsay dismisses Mary Ellen's endive salad without even trying it due to it being uncooked and unexciting. Wendy's fried rice with Chinese sausage falls flat because she left out lobster, a decision she claims she wouldn't have made if she had known that Gordon was going to be the judge. Jimmy's dish is a pan-seared chicken stuffed with mushrooms and goat cheese served with pumpkin mash. It is ridiculed as overcooked on the outside and raw on the inside, with bitter carrot tops that Gordon refuses to even taste. Ralph's sesame tuna earns harsh criticism, and Ramsay mocks his claim of being the #1 chef at his restaurant. Elise, nervous her turkey tacos are next, is relieved when they are judged as not bad. DeBerry's baked spaghetti bolognese is labeled as overcooked and compared to children's food. Chris's cedar plank salmon is revealed to be raw on the bottom. This, coupled with his proud announcement that he is currently employed as an executive chef, results in Gordon calling him a plank. When Chris talks back, Ramsay shuts him down, pointing out his need to improve. Jeff's overcooked steak with salty mushrooms scores a dismal 1 out of 10. Jessica's overly spicy Cajun crab forces Ramsay to chug water after just one bite, calling it way too hot. Michael's scallops with quail egg and asparagus are judged poorly due to his decision to leave the roe on them. Ramsay asks Michael if he enjoys having the roe on them. Michael, after some hesitation, admits that he does not. Ramsay has him taste it. Michael says that it was not bad. In response, Gordon tells him that he has the palate of a cow's backside and calls the dish disgusting. Finally, Carolyn's chicken parmesan is judged. It ends up being the only dish to earn praise. Ramsay praises its moistness, perfect cooking, and attractive presentation. Ramsay points out that Carolyn, despite not being a professional chef, understands how to prepare chicken properly. After the challenge, Ramsay expresses disappointment in the contestants' overall performance, but vows to uphold his commitment to transform one of them into a master chef. He urges them not to embarrass him, warning that failure will mean their elimination. The teams are then formed. The blue team consists of Andrew, Mary Ellen, Jessica, Wendy, Ralph, and Michael, working under sous chef Scott. The red team includes Jimmy, Elsie, DeBerry, Chris, Carolyn, and Jeff, led by sous chef Marianne. Ramsay advises everyone to be ready for any challenge ahead. As the sous chefs guide the contestants to their dorms, Scott informs them that they have 30 minutes before they must report to the kitchen. Seeing the living arrangements, Elise expresses surprise at how close the dorms are to the kitchen. The contestants then change into their team jackets and head right back to the kitchen to begin their journey. The contestants gather downstairs, and Ramsay reminds them of his earlier warning to be ready for anything and announces that Hell's Kitchen will open in a few hours. He reveals there will be a losing team after service, and one contestant will leave with their dream shattered. During prep, Dewberry feels nauseous from the news. It is revealed that the restaurant has 2 kitchens, one for each team, and that the dining room is similarly divided. The red team serves the red tables while the blue team serves the blue. It is also revealed that each team has a sous chef that can only act as a guide and consultant. Carol Ann highlights the daunting task of learning 5 appetizers, entrees, and desserts in just a few hours. Chris takes the opportunity to explain how a convection oven works but adopts a condescending attitude, mocking his teammates for their perceived lack of knowledge. He even claims he'd prefer working with dishwashers, claiming that they understand more about how a kitchen operates. Meanwhile, Elise expresses her determination to win a restaurant, believing she wants it more than the men. With 15 minutes left before service begins, Ramsay emphasizes the importance of delivering exceptional food and exceptional service to ensure a successful night. Ralph and Jeff are then assigned to work as waiters alongside Jean-Philippe in the dining room. Ralph, frustrated by the assignment, feels his skills would be more useful in the kitchen, while Jeff, accustomed to working with people, is relieved by the role. As the first tables were served, Ralph handed his initial ticket and Gordon reads it out loud. Michael was the only one to respond to Ramsay's orders while his teammates stood in stunned silence, forcing Ramsay to repeat himself. He calls their lack of energy pathetic. Meanwhile, Jeff struggled to understand whether tickets should be handed to Jean-Philippe or Ramsay, creating confusion in the dining room. In the red kitchen, Elise presents her risotto. Ramsay examines it and calls it overcooked and glued to the plate. He waves it around and then trashes it. The scene terrifies Elise and puts a smile on Chris's face. Even though it is an hour into service, not a single plate of food has left either kitchen. The guests at one of Ralph's tables grow impatient. This prompts Ralph to seek an estimated time at the pass. The blue kitchen hits another snag when Michael runs out of lobster spaghetti. He tells Ramsay that the item needs to be removed from the menu. Ramsay, unimpressed, instructed him to use live lobsters from storage to keep the dish on the menu. Adding to the tension, one of Ralph's tables approaches the kitchen to complain directly to Ramsay about the delay. Ramsay dismisses them, however, and after telling them to shut up, he tells everyone in the kitchen to ignore the bimbos. The ladies go back to their table in response. After an hour and 20 minutes into the service, some of the red team's tables have finally gotten their appetizers, which means that the red kitchen can start working on entrees. Chris is responsible for the salmon that will go on the first entree the red team will serve. Gordon examines the salmon, realizes that it's overcooked, and calls Chris over to hear his thoughts on it. After Chris admits that he knows that he knew the salmon was overcooked, Gordon slams it into his chest and scolds him for knowingly serving subpar food. Chris, undeterred, reveals that he believes that Ramsay will eventually recognize his experience. It is revealed that Ramsay has a rule that states that if one dish in an order needs to be recooked, the entire table needs to be redone. Gordon calls Jimmy and talks to him about his poorly plated dish. After Jimmy admits to his mistake, Gordon slams the dish into his chest and delivers a harsh reminder about maintaining standards. 2 hours in, both kitchens were in shambles. Despite appetizers going out, either team has managed to serve a single entree. Andrew asks Ramsay if he would come to him and inspect his dessert, only for Ramsay to shut him down, declaring that he will not leave the hot plate. After getting Andrew to come to him, Gordon tells Andrew that he's not going to walk over to him every time he has a question because he has to run the kitchen from the hot plate. Andrew reveals that while he feels targeted by Ramsay, he isn't going to let it affect him. Amid the chaos, Elise redeemed herself with a successful risotto, earning rare praise and feeling noticed for her determination. Meanwhile, Jimmy's struggles continue when his decision to use his hands instead of tongs when handling some lamb results in hot oil burning one of his hands. Adding to the red team's troubles, Carol Ann stood idle, prompting Ramsay to order her to help her team. Carol Ann lashed out, sarcastically wishing she were superwoman to handle every station. Ramsay criticizes Jimmy for his repeated failures, remarking he had never seen anyone ruin so much meat in one service. In the blue kitchen, Wendy ran out of potatoes, compounding the team's difficulties. The disgruntled ladies who had earlier confronted Ramsay return. Ramsay responds to their second attempt in a harsher manner. He tells Jean-Philippe to escort them back to plastic surgery. In response, they leave the restaurant. At the 2-hour and 30-minute mark, entrees finally make it out of the kitchen. However, due to the excessive delays, many diners are already leaving. Jean-Philippe described the night as sinking faster than the Titanic, while Ramsay, witnessing the chaos, shuts down both kitchens. As the teams cleaned up, Ralph called the night a disaster for both sides, while Andrew insisted he had given his all, regardless of Ramsay's opinion. With few successes from either kitchen, Ramsay turned to customer comment cards to determine the losing team. Over half of the red team's diners reported a below-average experience, with only a single dessert being sent out. While the dessert was well received, Ramsay dismisses it with a sarcastic "big deal." It turns out that Jeff was universally disliked by his tables. When he admitted to Ramsay that the night was horrible, Ramsay mockingly reminded him of his ambition to win his own restaurant. On the blue side, Ralph earned some favor from his diners. Andrew managed to send out 4 desserts, but none were well received. Despite slightly outperforming the red team, Ramsay declared the blue team only safe, emphasizing that they had not truly won. The red team was officially declared the losers, with Elise named best of the worst due to her consistency following her initial risotto mishap. Ramsay gave Elise the right to nominate 2 team members for elimination. Back in the dorms, Elise struggled with her responsibility, lamenting her position. Jimmy, convinced his poor performance sealed his fate, avoided discussing the matter with her. Meanwhile, Caroline attempted to console Elise, praising her efforts during service. Seeking solace, Elsie retreated to rest with Dewberry, who confessed his mixed feelings, unhappy to remain in the competition but equally unwilling to leave. Dewberry expressed fears of being sent home, but Elsie reassured him, promising he was safe. Elsewhere, Jeff confided in Wendy, acknowledging the scathing feedback from his tables and admitting he might be the one to leave. As the evening wore on, Elise grappled with her decision, knowing it would shape the next chapter of Hell's Kitchen. When it's time to reveal the nominees, Elise reveals her first one to be Caroline, citing her lack of knowledge as the reason why. Despite promising Dewberry that he was safe, she nominated him as her second choice due to his lack of energy and interest. After hearing the nominations, Ramsay informs Jimmy and Jeff that they have narrowly escaped elimination. When it is time for the nominees to make their pleas, Caroline expresses her frustration, insisting that her lack of experience shouldn't overshadow her potential and that she should not be underestimated. Dewberry, on the other hand, argues that his general-based knowledge gives him an edge over Caroline, though when Ramsay pressed him on what that knowledge is, Dewberry falters, sheepishly claiming it is just about general things. Ramsay ultimately eliminates Caroline, citing her lack of teamwork and experience as the deciding factors. In her exit interview, Caroline's disappointment was palpable. She felt angered by the loss of her opportunity, and was bitter about being sent home. Elise reflected on the stress of the elimination process, admitting she had never faced anything so difficult before. Dewberry, still reeling from his nomination, expressed surprise at being called out but hinted that he might seek some form of revenge in the future. Meanwhile, Michael reveals that he sees this competition as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and vows to take out his teammates in order to secure his place. Jessica, aware of the increasing pressure, acknowledged that the challenges ahead would only get tougher. Ramsay closes out the episode saying, "Some can handle it, some can't. I'm not interested in the ones who can't. Now subscribe and check out some of my other videos."